Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you're watching this program from. This is Coffee with Charles, and my name is Charles Wachira. And so, before we get into our topic today, let's see what's coming up. All he does is get drunk and disturb my mother. I'm really feeling like I will harm this useless man. Hello. Hey. I just got married 2 months ago, and my husband has changed completely. He has become violent and threatening. Welcome back to Coffee with Charles. On this episode, I'm going to be tackling a couple of questions, and let's get to it immediately. So here I have a question. I'm an 18-year-old and I have just cleared Form 4. It was a real struggle because my parents could not afford fees. I barely made it to do my KCSE. Now that I'm at home, things are really not good because my father is a drunkard and my mother hustles just to put food on the table. But I'm so angry at my dad because all he does is get drunk and disturb my mother. I'm really feeling like I will harm this useless man. Hey, help me before I do something stupid. Well, I know you're a young man, you're just 18 years old, and I know you're kind of hurting because things have been tough for you. In high school, as you say, things were so tough. You're just barely making it to the next day because fees was not being paid. It looks like your dad is not really doing his part, and your mother has been struggling just to make sure that you get, a meal. And yes, it feels at times angry when you look at what your dad is doing and feeling like he's let you down. But at times, this world is not perfect. This world is not really perfect. At times we get parents who are not perfect and they do things that hurt us. It's good you've written because you say you are almost doing something harmful to him. And I would first tell you don't. Because at the end of the day, if you harm your father, first you bring yourself, you rain down on yourself some, bad curses, if I would call them that you actually would harm your own father who brought you up. But secondly, you'll end up in jail. What will you achieve? When you sit in a cold floor in jail and you are thinking about what you did to this man who gave, who raised you up, you'll have solved nothing. So violence or harming him will not solve anything. But I know you're angry and I know you feel disturbed. And I know every day you see him disturb your mother when you have really, really a lot of respect for your mother who has been hustling and just making sure you have some food. It's natural to feel that angry, but you need to talk to somebody. And this is a beginning of such a conversation that you've written to me and say that, hey, this is what I want to do. So get some counseling, get some help, talk to someone. At times counseling, yes, it can be costly or you may not know as a young man where to go, but even the least, talk to somebody who you trust. Even the least, talk to a pastor near you, or even call and talk to somebody who might be able to assist you and help you. Because at this time, when you think about it, you will feel that somebody may just pent up these feelings and then they blow up. And when they blow up, my friend, you will harm not only your dad but yourself as you sit in a prison. So at times I just want to ask you, and for many other young people who are looking, and for many dads who are watching, let's start with the dads. Your responsibilities are to provide for your family. And at times it's hard because you have no job. You are looking for a job, but getting drunk will not help you even secure a job. It will not cure the problem. Because people at times believe if I get intoxicated, I go out there and drink alcohol and come home and disturb everyone, you think your problems are over. They're only over until that alcohol goes down from your bloodstream, and then you remember you still have the very problems you left yesterday staring at you. So fathers, let's start beginning there. Drunkenness will not help you solve a problem. It will only make you think less of that problem, and then tomorrow you're back on it and you've already wasted money. Why don't you even use that money to solve some of the problems you have? Who is going to hire a drunkard? Who is going to listen to you when you are speaking out of intoxication? It's not a solution. And fathers have been known to hurt their spouses and their children more than even anyone else in the world. You hurt them by your behavior. Because God gave you a responsibility to take care of them, to protect them, to provide for them, to give them what they need so that they succeed. And here you are destroying that very gift, not doing what you're supposed to do, but rather becoming a nasty person at home. What blessing are you when you are attacking them at home? So you need to change and also get help as a dad. And go get help from a counselor, a pastor, someone you can talk to, and tell them that you are hurting also. Because at times when you are hurting, you don't know what to do, so you start being violent. When you're hurting, you don't know what to do, you turn to alcohol or abuse drugs. But that will not help you. That will not cure the problem. So for me, I would like to advise that father, seek help and stop pretending that you're the man of the house. If you're beating that woman of the house, you go beat other men and see how you'll succeed there. They'll beat you back. They'll fight. But at home, you're threatening them because they can't do something. And fathers, understand your son has grown. He's 18. He is strong. He can also beat you up and revenge. He can do harm. And then are you going to a court case to report him? Are you going to go to a police station to report him? Are you going to put him in jail because he beat you up, because you are beating the mother? Come on. It's just a roller coaster of events in this family. You, dad, you have to straighten up your life. You have to wake up. You have to clean up. You have to take responsibility over that family that you are destroying. And you, young man, you really need to slow down, to breathe in, to breathe out, and not allow yourself to be engaged and tempted to harm. Because just end up seated, as I said, in a jail and regretting over things you could have avoided. So why don't you even, and also those people who are watching, and that's why I keep saying, there's a WhatsApp number down there on the screen. If you have a question like this, you can talk to me directly and text the question, or you can call on that number if you need help. But also understand that when you ask your question, this is me telling you what you might do, but you need help and you need professional counseling. So until we roll now out to a break, we'll be back with question number 2. You are watching Coffee with Charles, and I'm Charles Wachira. We'll be back in a short while. Welcome back to Coffee with Charles. This is the second question that we're going to tackle in this episode. Let me read it for you. Hello, I just got married 2 months ago, and my husband has changed completely. He has become violent and threatening. There is this day he came home and found a neighbor friend of mine visiting. He lost it and chased the neighbor with blows. Hiya, okay. Then he turned to me and beat me and beat the daylights out of me, saying that I had not cooked and the house was dirty because I was talking the whole day. and I was afraid that I would not tell anyone, so I didn't report. I have tried to please him and avoid conflict, but he's really a violent man and he beats me when I do something that he doesn't like. He was not like this when I married him, but I have seen I'd seen some telltale signs in our dating period. When he got angry, he once strangled me and threw me down. But he apologized and said he would never repeat it. Now I've told him I will leave him. But when I say I am leaving, he changes and becomes very remorseful and loving. I really don't know what to do. Please help me. First, I would like to say, pole sana. These things really happen and they are real, happening in our households. In fact, at times I think the most disturbed place on earth that things happen is homes, because they are private. You don't get to see maybe this in public offices, because in an office there are people who are watching and they are not from your home. But a lot of abuse, a lot of violence circulates and occurs in houses where people cannot see what is happening inside, or even neighbors cannot see. So propagation of violence, and especially domestic violence, can thrive inside a house. The same man will not, or the same woman will not be violent outside there in the street and start beating the wife or beating the husband. People tend to do these things in the privacy of their homes because there is no deterrent, and therefore this becomes very hard for people to be able to stop, and this propagation goes on. So this lady married this guy. 2 months ago they have been staying, this is a honeymoon stage, and the guy has already turned and changed and become threatening and become violent. Anything that triggers him, he beats the wife. And the wife is afraid to talk. She's afraid to talk. Apart from saying she's leaving, she's afraid. And when she says she's leaving, the guy changes and becomes very loving. Oh my God. So what can this woman do? First and foremost, women have been beaten at times in circumstances and killed in their very homes because they didn't take some precaution. Violence is a no-no. If there is violence, it's a no-no. It's not even a negotiation. It's not even an issue to negotiate and to compromise. And no, you can lose your life. And women have lost their lives. Husbands have lost their lives in a violent situation. And when you see this guy, when you are dating, he strangled you and threw you down. That should have raised a flag that this man did something that even when you are dating, he did that, which means he could easily, be violent in future. And as I said in the last episode, I said this: if somebody is doing some things before marriage, they'll just be multiplied inside that marriage. So you do not want to get into a situation where somebody is doing something wrong before when you are dating, and then when they become your husband or wife, you are shocked at what they are doing. No, you expected it. Remember, what is being done outside will be done a couple of more times inside. It will be multiplied. It will be added. And even as I say, it will be shaken down, running over. So don't excuse violence, because you might end up being a victim of domestic violence and death. And so we begin to refocus and ask you, begin to talk to somebody. Get a counselor. Talk to them. Say what is happening at home. Get a friend who is mature and stable. Talk to them what's happening at home. Begin to look at what you can do, how you can avoid this particular man, how you can exit. Because at times, if it's not stopping, you're going to be in a bigger problem than this. So why do men or women who propagate violence, why do they do that? So in a scenario where you think he's beating me because I was with a neighbor the whole day, I was talking to the neighbor. And then he came in the evening, he was angry that he found the food was not made and the house was dirty. That is basically something that can get a husband angry, yes, but not violent. That's a difference. You can get angry, but you don't have to be violent. So when you propagate violence and you are, because you justify you are angry, and that's what the problem is, you justify it because you are angry. But really, that anger is something you can control. Something you can say, okay, I'm angry, but I'll not hit, I'll not beat, I'll not throw things. And that shows you that maybe even when you're a child, this thing was not taught to you, how to manage your emotions, how to manage anger. You were left to throw the tantrums and threaten people and beat people and throw things. And now you're a mature man, you still are throwing things, beating people, and you're not controlling that anger. You need help. For you, a man who is watching this and you're doing that, or for you, woman who is watching this and you're doing that at home, you need help. You need to know you can be angry without being violent. You need to know you can control your anger. You need to know it doesn't have to be the one controlling you. You can control anger. And that you need to get help and do that. And for the lady, the particular lady who was asked this question, you need to know that your life is probably in danger if this goes on. Someone may just even one day take a knife and stab you. And it was out of anger. What will you say? As you are crying for you, but what will you say could have been avoided if you took the steps to just go seek help, to talk about it, and if he's willing to change, he must show the fruit of change. Because look, whenever you threaten to leave, he changes. He becomes loving. He becomes somebody who wants now to live in peace because he knows there is a consequence. He's just trying to woo you back, quiet you, and soothe you. And when you believe he has repented and you keep quiet, repentance is a scenario where you change. Not tomorrow again you are repeating, confessing, you are repeating, confessing, you are repeating, confessing. You must change. You must repent. Turn away from that anger. And that needs help, not just to do it alone. And so, when he changes and becomes loving, and tomorrow again is violent, let me tell you, he's not going to change. So, young lady, you need to start thinking. It's only 2 months you've been married. You start to think, you need to start thinking where to get the help, where to avoid this violence, how to deal with this man. Because also at times it has been noted, when you say you are leaving, they become more violent, and that's when they kill. So get help. There's a number down there for those guys who would like to ask more questions. You can also put it in the comment section. You can write the WhatsApp number privately. You can call on that number. But also remember to subscribe this channel. Hit the notification button. And from me to you, we'll see you on the other side of the break. Let's take some coffee. This is Coffee with Charles. Welcome back to Coffee Charles. We are going to proceed to the third question. And remember, there's a number down there where you can send your question. You can do the WhatsApp and your question will get answered in the next episode. All right. The third question. Hello. I am an Uber driver and I have a repeat female client. Well, I pick her up every day and drop her to work and pick her in the evening back to home. She pays me weekly and this has really boosted my job. However, of late, she has been asking me to go to her house with her to eat supper. At first, it was just supper, but of late, she wants me to stay overnight, such that I don't have to go home. I'm married and this cannot work. However, if I refuse, I see losing her as a client and that income will be lost. I don't know what to do. I don't want to mess my marriage for money. but I also am really in need of the money. So you are an Uber driver and you have this female client that has been paying you money weekly, and so it's good for your business. I know guys who do Uber really need some constant customers, just like that business has a lot of random customers, and random means that you may have some today, tomorrow you may not have any. And so when you get a repeat customer, actually it works for you. And I understand this guy, why he's feeling like as much as a lady is tempting her, he feels like he will lose income. But now, my friend, you come to also ask yourself about the principles and values you're going to put to your business. Because business is okay and it's moving on, but then when it is challenged by something that attaches itself to your value system or your principles, then you start feeling like, okay, I'm carrying this lady, she's starting to demand more from me, and I'm married, she wants me to spend time with her. This is going towards, an affair. It's going towards a scenario where you'll find yourself in a trap. But because she's paying you, you're feeling trapped, because if you say no, I'm sure she'll dump you and take another Uber driver who is maybe even more willing to do what she wants. But I want to tell you, do you want to live a life where you're earning money but you're guilty all the time you go home? You must make a decision. And in life, what people don't know, in life, especially as adults, some of the decisions or a couple of decisions you come across are not going to be easy. They are not going to be pleasant. They are going to pain you. Something you say no to is not necessarily just going to be no and you walk away. You are walking away from an income. And that is the income you're relying to boost your family, feed your family, provide for your family. And if you say no and walk away, we don't know if you'll get another customer. Even a person may tell you, oh, don't worry, God will give you another customer. And really in life, at times, there will be no other customer like that one coming your way. And so you'll be like, oh my God, what happened? I wish I just compromised. Anyway, everyone is doing it. And that's how we talk. But let me tell you, my friend, you'll end up living a life of guilt. A life where you don't even know what you're going to do when you leave that evening, that house, when you're going to your wife and you are telling her this money, but that money has been earned in an unofficial way or a way that compromised you. So I want to tell you, the decision is hard, but you walk away because your value principle is telling you no. You said it yourself. You don't want to get involved. No one told you don't get involved. You are saying yourself, this is not something you want to do, but you are afraid you lose the income. Well, maybe just to say, watch your income iende. Because now, what do? You are free, yes, but God, I'm sure, the business will kind of even out. He will find other ways to bless you, not necessarily just a repeat customer. But whether even you lose an income and you then come back and God then give you another client, we are saying you made the right decision and you save your marriage. So what's a priority at times for men? You need to make money. You have here a family. And this money that you are making here, you are making it a way that leaves you feeling compromised and guilty. There's a family here to be fed. So the question is, do I just continue doing it, get dirty, get my hands dirty, but as long as I'm providing? Or do you get to a place where you trust God and just say, Kiumane, let it go. Let me be clean. Let me do clean business. Let me be able to go home with a clear conscience. And then this other side, whether it suffers, because at times even pastors tell you that, hey, God will bless you, you won't suffer. You might suffer. You might lose an income and suffer. You might even regret why you let go of that client. But guess what? At the end of the day, you've done the right thing. And you'll find other clients along the way if they do come, or you'll find a way how to make that other income. And if it doesn't, you're clean. That's what I will tell you. So if you are out there and you may not necessarily be an Uber driver, you may be doing something else. And this story, especially, if you look at the Bible, the story of Joseph is similar to this. He had a choice to compromise, keep quiet, and keep that Potiphar's wife happy and continue working. But look at Joseph. When he decided to say no to Potiphar's wife, and he said, no, I'm not going to bed with you. And the woman accused him falsely, and he was thrown into jail. You see, he chose the right thing. He chose to be a Christian in that context. But he was thrown into jail. he was thrown into jail. So things don't necessarily turn out that you'll be good. And in the jail, it wasn't like 2 days. He stayed there, including when he met some guys who would save him out of jail. They forgot him there for another 2 years. So even we are not told how long that period was, just because he said no to a woman. Maybe in hindsight, you'd have said just yes and moved on with life. But mwishowe, there's always, for those who stick and do the wrong thing, there's always a consequence. And for those who do the right thing, there will be a consequence. The difference is that you did the right thing. So, young man, mse wa Uber, mimi nakwambia, si ufanye tu kitu ya ile itafanya wewe uwe a guy who sleeps with a clear conscience, and you'll be happy about yourself. Leave the rest to the Lord Jesus. You see? So, guys, thank you for watching this program. It has been me, Charles Wachira, on Coffee with Charles. And we'll be back in the next episode to feature more questions. But for now, go ahead, send your question or comment on that section of the comment. And if you have a question, you can also write on the WhatsApp number that is on the screen now. And we will get to answer your question in the next episode. Like the channel, subscribe, hit the notification button, so that YouTube can alert you when this content comes out. From me to you, see you next time. This is Coffee with Charles.